Ura explains how the rebels in the novel were being dehumanized for illegally crossing the border, trying to live a better life, but got taken advantage of. Today in America, rebels are still being dehumanized for the ongoing pursuit of positive change and a better position in life. The character in the story, Devil's Highway, Don Moy, was supposed to be a trusting person. People were paying him to take them across the border, but would only get them so far to leave them stranded, risking capture or death. Gaining people's trust allowed him to easily take advantage of them. Urea talks about Don Moy and the kind of person he was, which was a person who knew how to deceive vulnerable people, and this made him a trustworthy man. Don Moy was a recruiter for the Northern Coyotes. Urea said, "Don Moy was a walking ad for the good life." I believe this quote means Don Moy knew how to communicate well with people and convince them everything was going to be alright. People had a different image of him. They thought he was a Robin Hood figure who helped poor Mexicans make their way to the border. Unfortunately, he did not care about their well-being at all, but only their money. Don Moy was a master manipulator. Urea said, Don Moy didn't make it to Nelly's. By the time they wondered where he was on the bus heading home. This goes to show that Don Moy didn't care about the men. He left without an explanation, leaving the men confused and lost. He was the first person to dehumanize the Welton 26 by taking their trust and only seeing them as desperate men, willing to pay more than what they had in order for a chance at a better life. In the Sandra Cox paper, she states, "The Devil's Highway calls for social justice by raising awareness in its readers of the human cost of particular representations of those who live in the liminal spaces between national identities. People go to a certain extreme for a better life. Whether they have money or not, they will do everything and anything for the American life. Rebels are being dehumanized by Don Moy not taking consideration of their needs and wants." In today's society, a man named Martin Tyrrell was accused of committing fraud. Martin was a former Des Moines sports radio host, and many people trusted him in getting them better seats or VIP passes. One quote from the article stated, "Prosecutors say Tyrrell eventually began using the investors' money on personal items or to pay back other people who invested." Same as Don Moy, Tyrrell would only get their money and forget about them. Like in the novel, these people felt the same way. They felt dehumanized. Tyrrell looked at them like they were only money and didn't care what they were asking for or what they needed.
That's the new federal allegation against former Des Moines sports radio talk show host Marty Tirrell, known to many as the Mouth of the Midwest.
The longtime media personality is charged with defrauding 8 people out of $1.5 million in deals involving sports tickets.
KCCI senior reporter Todd Magel is live at the federal courthouse downtown tonight, where Tirrell appeared this afternoon.
Steve and Laura, we've learned in just about the past half hour that Marty Tirrell was here in federal court. He wanted to get out of jail, but the judge said no way. He's staying in jail as a federal prisoner in Polk County, at least until there can be some kind of a center where he can go to get some kind of treatment, and that may be some time. Here's what happened. The federal government said that Tirrell had a scheme where he would basically offer clients that he would sell sports tickets, he would sell them at a profit, and investors who invested in this would share in those profits. Well, now, according to the FBI investigation and the federal government, those folks never got paid, and that's a problem for a lot of his finances that he's dealt with over the last decade.
The kids play basketball year-round as it is.
Marty Tirrell called himself the Mouth of the Midwest, a longtime radio talk show host and sports announcer, but now his mouth and the business promises he made could send him to federal prison.
He kind of got in over his head and was not able to meet his obligations.
Attorney Peter Ralvis represents Toyota of Des Moines and its owner, the Gabus family. Tirrell owes them more than $100,000 after several sports-related deals went south. Back in 2012, Tirrell promised to bring football star Troy Aikman to the dealership, but Aikman never showed, and the Gabus family sued to get their $80,000 payment to Tirrell returned.
Extremely frustrating, extremely costly.
A new federal indictment shows the Aikman deal was just one of a number of Terrell's alleged schemes. Most involved buying sports tickets for wealthy clients and promising to share the profits after reselling them. An FBI investigation shows that never happened, and Terrell's partners lost $1.5 million.
On behalf of creditors, there's certainly a lot of people that haven't been paid and maybe will not be paid. So maybe this will be the end of the Marty Terrell.
In this case, the rebels are the ones who are asking for better seats and upgrading passes to have a better experience. But in reality, they are the ones who are being dehumanized because at the end of the day, Terrell tricks them, uses them, and betrays them in getting their money. In conclusion, rebels today and in the novel are both being dehumanized. Both Don Moy and Terrell didn't care about others' humanity. Rebels want nothing more than to be accepted by America. They want to live the same life as everyone else with dignity.